going on, Jerome's? So I know we've seen a couple comments said like, oh, why you keep talking about Florio? Just ignore him. And I understand. I mean, the easier play would be just to ignore Florio, but he is a national media jabroni haircut writer, Pro Football Talk, NBC Sports. And as we said, we're an ombudsman. I don't even know if I said that right or the term correctly, but we're on that. You want us on that wall. You need us on that wall, raging against the machine of the national media jabroni haircuts when they get things wrong about the Minnesota Vikings, which is frequently. And we like to point out media malfeasance because they want you to believe a certain thing about the Vikings that just is not true. All right. And their word does carry a lot of sway with the, Joe 12-pack fans out there. And it does matter. I mean, it's 2024. I feel like truth should factor in here. But Florio, yes, longtime Vikings fan, national media jabroni haircut, Pro Football Talk, blah, blah, blah. Goes way back like chiropractic with PA. That's not a thermos. But he has been the one, bum, banging the drum about the Vikings are trying to trade up for Malik Nabers during the NFL draft. Now, this all started with him. After the Chargers took Joe Alt at 5 and Malik Nabers went to the Giants at 6, Florio from his basement, garage, whatever, chimed in, was maybe in the Chianti a little bit. It's like, the Vikings are trying to trade up to 5 for Malik Nabers, and we're trying to trade Justin Jefferson. All right. Now, as we pointed out, don't trust words, trust actions. And for action-wise, like you would think that would be a very juicy bit of news, rumors, conjecture, right? And if it was legit, you would think that one of the other insiders would have sniffed it out, whether it's Schefter, Glazer, Rap Sheet, Garofalo, Pelissero, obviously who's here in Minnesota, lots of ties with the Vikings from back in the day, Jordan Schultz. You'd think that someone would have dug that up or confirmed it, right? But it was just Florio out there until Charlie Shooter Walters of the Pioneer Press just ran with it a couple weekends ago, which was just ridiculous and really gave this thing life. But Florio, again, why are we talking about him? Because he can't let this go. Like, he doubled and tripled down on it. Vikings say they never discussed trading Justin Jefferson, but does that blah, 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 right? All right, so a couple of excerpts here. The team that brought us the phrase, we have no intention to trading Percy Harvin at this time, and then they did, blah, 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 blah. We never discussed trading Justin Jefferson. Now that the Vikings have signed Jefferson to a long-term deal, they have every interest in playing the nothing to see here card when it comes to the possibility that the Vikings might have moved on. If they'd been blown away by an offer for Jefferson and or if they'd been able to replace him. As recently explained, the Vikings had no urgency to get a deal done before the draft, or that circumstantial evidence regarding the possible, if not likely, fact the Vikings were waiting to see that got blown away with a Herschel Walker type offer. Blah blah blah. Then there's the fact that there's more than a few people have said the Vikings are trying to trade up from 11 to 5 to draft LSU wide receiver Malik Nabers. Now, define more than a few. Define more than a few people, because it's you and Charlie Shooter Walters of the Pioneer Press. Now, Shooter probably just went with you. I'm like 99.5% sure that's the case, right? I don't think that Charlie Shooter Walters was getting some sort of like deep throat Watergate sources on this thing. No, it's ridiculous, man. Too many people heard that for it to have been something that someone pulled out of thin air or their ass. But who else ran with it? Who else ran with it? And of course, Kevin Seifert, ESPN, who's not Carl Gershman. This rumor has made the rounds, admittedly juicy, but the Vikings did not try last month to trade up and draft wide receiver Malik Nabers. Great player, but the Vikings have a better one in Justin Jefferson. Still working to extend Jefferson. Blah blah blah. So he tweeted this on May 28th. Right. So again, lots of people. I feel like this is just astroturfing and trying to just like whitewash history, where it's just like, so I was the only one who ran with this, but it's like lots of people at this time are running with it. Please. Where was it? Even though Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell got the predictable softball earlier this week regarding the question whether the Vikings shop Jefferson, no one asked about the Nabers rumors. Nabers is misspelled. Rumors and reports. Okay. Sure. If the Vikings had gotten Nabers, who knows what would have meant for Jefferson, maybe the Vikings would have been content to go forward with Jefferson in his 5th year of his contract, Addison under his rookie deal, and Nabers for roughly, as I choke and die, total for 3 years. So that would have been a hell of a 3 deep, man. Not gonna lie, I kind of would have been fine with that. Or maybe they would have continued to wait for offers to come in without technically ever discussing a potential trade of Jefferson. Now, here's the thing. So the Vikings would have traded likely 3 first-round picks for Malik Nabers and then not traded Justin Jefferson. Or, since the top 5 had already elapsed, I mean, they're going to trade Jefferson for less than a future franchise quarterback, or they were going to trade Jefferson for Penix or McCarthy. No. Bottom line, there's too much smoke to ignore on this one. You're the only one billowing the smoke. Come on, man. Beat writers have... so I love it. Florio gets catty with beat writers. Beat writers have plenty of reasons, driven by both access and a desire not to come off as having been scooped, to parrot the nothing to see here mantra. So, or, conversely, there's nothing there. And there never was. Some would say... beat writers know a given team better than anyone else. While that might be true in many circumstances, there's a real difference between what beat writers can and will write and what they know but can't say. But here's the thing: like, it doesn't even take beat writers. I mean, there are a lot of like local social media people that are embedded, like do have legit sources and can break news on the old Twitter machine, but. None of them, no one except you, Florio, had any of this smoke. Absolutely none. Right? So, I mean, honestly, just fold the tent. I mean, it's done. I understand that it's just like, hey, this would have been juicy and would have been amazing. But also, when multiple beat writers rebuff this, Seifert did it, I believe Ben Gessling did too. And then instead of just getting catty with local beat writers who are very good at their job, and yes, they do have to balance access with running with crackpot, single source stories, it's just ridiculous, man. So I honestly do think that, I don't know, like, I kind of feel for Florio because this feels like he got information from a source that he feels is legit and they burned him. Either they were told a half truth or maybe they weren't being 100% themselves. And then Florio just kind of put that out there. And now he kind of has to double and triple down on it. Otherwise, he looks like a horse's patoot. And honestly, like, I understand, like, we're humans. We all have egos, and it's really tough to say that you completely whiffed and face planted on national television on something like this. But again, like, he can say that there was so much smoke, and a lot of people were talking about the Vikings trading up to 5 for Malik Nabers. But as someone who consumes way too much Vikings content, there was no one else. There was you. Stand alone, like fully Godsmack on this one, man. So I don't know. I don't know, man. But either way, your thoughts are thoughts. Florio doubles, triples, quadruples, 5s down on the Vikings are trying to trade up for Malik Nabers and trade Justin Jefferson. Okay. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Not Thermos. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Once worth of work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But next time, Skull Production Value.